So first thing that you need to do is actually sketch the diagram, label every information that it gave you. So in this case, it give you an object. It's launched with an angle 25 from the roof of a building with an initial velocity u 42 meter per second on a building of height 50 meter. So those are the information that it gave you. From here, you can get u, x and uy. Okay, so ux is cos, uy is sine. For part A, it asks you the maximum height from the ground. So in order to do so, we already have information regarding the height of the building. Therefore, the only bit of information that we need to find is this part, which is I'm going to label sy here. In order to find the maximum height, you need to add the height of the building plus sy here. So you need to find sy by doing SUVAT analysis. So sy is what we're going to find. Uy we have. Vy 0. Uy we always equals to negative 9.81 meter per second. And you don't have any information regarding time. Therefore, based from this SUVAT analysis, you want to find s. So therefore, choose the one with s. Second and third one. But you don't have time. Please don't use the third one. Use the second one. Okay? So, v squared u squared plus 2as. Please remember, for projectile motion, you need to label whether you are doing x or y component. So you have Vy equals to 0, Uy is this one, Ay is negative 9.81, Sy is what we're going to find. So rearrange, you get Sy equals to 16.06 meter. This is not the end because it asks you to find the maximum height. Your Sy, you need to add with the height of the building, get the answer 66.06 meter. Part B, it asks you when will it reach its maximum height. When, meaning it asks for time, but not the total time for it to reach the ground, but the total for it to reach maximum height. So it asks you for the time from here to here. The information that you have is the height, get 16.06, positive because initial point is here, final point is here, final is above initial, therefore positive. And then you have Uy, Vy at maximum height is 0, Ay negative 9.81, and it asks for time. You actually can use two of them, but please choose the easiest one, this one. Vy 0, Uy is this one, okay, plus Ay is negative 9.81, and then time. So you rearrange, get 1.81 second time for it to reach maximum height. Okay, for part C, it asks you what is its velocity when it strikes the ground. Here, we need to resolve it to x and y. So this is Vx, so this is Vy. Find Vx and Vy by using this equation. Vx, it's always equals to Ux. 42 cos 25. If you press your calculator, you get this value. For Vy, we actually need to find it first. Sy, we have this value, we also have this value. So you can actually choose which height you want to use. For me, the easiest one is to choose this one because the movement is from the maximum height to the point where it hits the ground. We know at this point velocity is 0. This point will be initial, this one will be final. So Uy here is 0. Okay, this one will be Vy, the final. Okay, Uy, Vy. Vy we want to find. Ay fixed, but you don't have any information regarding time. The most appropriate equation that I'm going to use based on the information that I have here is the second one here. Y equals to Uy, Ay, Sy. So Vy want to find. Uy is equal to 0 because I chose Sy to be this. Okay, Sy is negative 66.6 because initial is here, final is here. therefore final is below the initial, therefore I need to put negative there. So you simplify, you get Vy equals to 36. I would like to emphasize, if you choose Sy to be that, so this will be your Ui, this will be your Vy. Okay? If you choose to use H equals to 50 here, so this will be your Ui. Okay? So you have Vx, you have Vy. And just plug in all the values in the equation here to get V. Substitute. Okay, why I put negative here? If you look at the just sketching here, Vx is to the right, therefore it's positive. Vy is downward, so actually you need to put negative sign indicating that it is downward direction. Okay, therefore you get this 52.39. You also find the direction by using this formula. So we get that, so that will be the theta here. Okay, for the last part, part D, determine the range of this object. Before I start on explaining this part, I would like to correct something. If you notice in the previous part, ABC, I wrote down G here, it should be A, okay? Positive, it should be A. Okay, proceed. So D, it asks you range. Range simply means horizontal distance. So range. So you should know automatically that you need to find as X, or you can also label R. I'm going to label as X so that you can differentiate between X and Y. Okay, write down SUVAT. As you need to find UX, you have the value 42 cos 25. Vx will always equal to Ux. Ax is equal to 0. You don't have any information regarding that. Okay, so let's choose the most appropriate equation. We need to find S, so obviously we need equation with S, therefore this one and this one. If you choose this equation, A will become 0, therefore this whole part will vanish. So you get V equals to U, so you cannot find S. For this part, this one vanish. You have S equals to UT, but you don't have time. You cannot get the answer. I only have this information. You need to ask Y component for help. So let's start for Y first. Like I mentioned before, the value for S that you choose will determine where U and V is. Okay, so if you choose S to be 50, it means that from here and here. Okay, since it asks for range, okay, means from the starting to the end, meaning the time also need to synchronize with that. So the time needs to be from here to there. So if you choose S equals to 50, then you are on the right track. But if you choose it to be 66.06, the time is from here to here. Therefore, if you use 66 here, time here is not the same as the time that we need to find for the range. So, time is from here to here, initial point here, final point here, therefore the SY is 50 meter. Negative because final position is below initial. Okay, got it? So U here, UY is 42 sine 25. Vy is here, which we get from the previous question, which is 36 meter per second. Y is always also negative 9.81, and time. Choose equation. Equation with time is the first and the third one, so you can actually use both. So if you use the first one, so your Vy will equal to negative 36. Remember, Y is negative. And then Uy is that one. Ay is that one. So you get time equals to 5.48 seconds. If you use this equation, Sy is equal to negative 50. Uy is that one. And time. And then you get that. Okay, but if you use this, you will get two answers. You choose positive one since time does not have negative value. We have time now from here to here. So use the same time for x component. Please make sure you label x component. So we get 28.6.